NBA insider Shams Charania reporting that the Hornets have contacted the league disputing the Lakers' failed physical. Scuttled their trade. LA had acquired Williams to give new star Luka Doncic a vertical threat, but sent him back after the physical. And that feels like that's what's missing right now when you look at LeBron and the Lakers, especially after last night's performance here. NBA insider, and that is senior insider Shams Charania with us now. Shams, where do things stand with the Hornets' dispute here over Mark Williams' physical?
Kevin, the Hornets, from my understanding, they remain in contact with the league office, essentially questioning the validity of the Lakers' failed physical exam and weighing potential options where they can potentially appeal this situation. As I reported over the weekend, the Lakers failed Mark Williams on his physical. They found multiple issues, from what I'm told, not related to his back, however. And so the Hornets and Lakers, they're on opposite ends of where this issue stands. In the Hornets' eyes, Mark Williams is healthy. He has a long potential career ahead. And the Lakers clearly feel like they found a couple of issues in that physical exam. But in the meantime, Kevin, sources told me that the Lakers are waiving Christian Wood to sign Alex Len, 7-foot free agent center. That's going to give them some depth. They've been with just one center since this failed test and since the trade deadline last week. Just Jackson Hayes. Now Alex Len, he's played, he's in his 12th NBA season. He will join them on their front line.
And that's important. You just need size. You need some matchups. You need 6 fouls. You need somebody that can get rebounds. And Len trying to fill that in just a limited amount of minutes. We will see how that plays out. Now, you reported earlier today Brandon Ingram secured an extension with the Raptors. Why were they comfortable with that new deal after trading for Ingram?
Kevin, just under a week after they traded for him, 3 years, $120 million extension. He's 27 years old. He's going to hit potentially free agency again in 2027 before turning 30 years old. They view Brandon Ingram as a perfect fit next to Scottie Barnes, a playmaker, a scorer that can complement Barnes as well as Emmanuel Quickley, RJ Barrett. They really feel like his best days are ahead. It's been an injury-riddled few seasons for Brandon Ingram in New Orleans. He wanted a fresh start, from my understanding. He gets that in Toronto, and now they're going to try to continue to build around Scottie Barnes with the Raptors.
Okay, this season in only 18 games due to injury, Ingram averaging over 22 points per game, and injuries. No one's dealing with more of them right now than the Mavericks. Let's get some updates here right now with this team.
Kevin, Anthony Davis, the biggest of them all. The Mavericks will have a cautious rehab for AD, and I'm told the expectation is that Davis will need rehabilitation for the coming weeks on that adductor injury. And just a brutal blow for the Mavericks, because this is a player who just returned from an ab strain in his Mavericks debut over the weekend, and he looked absolutely dominant for the Mavericks before having this injury. On the other side last night, Daniel Gafford, their starting center, I'm told he had an MRI earlier today. The Mavericks are still waiting to see exactly the severity on that right knee, but he underwent testing earlier. They're hopeful because he walked without assistance post-game. They're hoping for the best for Daniel Gafford, but they're already without Anthony Davis. They're already without Dwight Powell, already without Derek Lively II. And now Daniel Gafford, they're waiting to hear just how bad his right knee injury is.
That is a mash unit right now. Dallas back in action tomorrow night when they host Jimmy Butler and the Warriors, 9:30 Eastern, right here on ESPN. Shams with the latest.
It was rescinded. Shams, what more can you tell us about what's going on between the Hornets and the league?
Malika, the Hornets are in contact with the league office to explore disputing the Lakers failing Mark Williams' physical exam. Essentially, the Hornets are questioning the validity of the failed physical exam conducted by the Lakers and weighing potential options to appeal. As we reported over the weekend, the Lakers failed Williams on his physical exam after acquiring him in a trade for Dalton Connect, a first-round pick, and a pick swap. And they found multiple issues, from my understanding, in the physical exam not related to his back. So where we stand here are the Hornets and Lakers clearly on opposite ends of where this is all at. The Hornets believe that Williams is healthy, that he has a long career ahead of them, but clearly the Lakers felt like they found something in there that gave them pause, failing the physical and rescinding and nixing the trade.
Lakers side of all of this, I think the question is, now that the deadline is passed, what other options do they have at center here, Shams?
I'm told the Lakers are pursuing multiple big men in the marketplace right now. They know they need some size. Jackson Hayes right now is their only positional center. I would expect the Lakers to move on a potential big man in the next 24 to 48 hours. They are working. Rob Pelinka and that front office are trying to acquire a center. We saw how great Luka Doncic and LeBron James can make Jackson Hayes. Getting another big man there is of the utmost priority right now for the Lakers.
Yeah, and Luka Doncic said that that's really the thing that he wants to make sure this roster has. Shams, thank you. We're going to continue to follow this story as the Lakers still hope to add a big here. But before we let you go, we do have some breaking news here. Shams, what more can you tell us about Raptors forward Brandon Ingram?
Malika, the Raptors acquired Brandon Ingram in a trade last week, and now I'm told he has reached agreement on a 3-year, $120 million contract extension with the franchise. He also has a player option in 2027. So this is a big commitment on both sides after acquiring him in a trade. They've reached an extension agreement, and this trade was made so that the Raptors can have some action for themselves offensively. They wanted to find another playmaker, someone else that can facilitate, playmake, create action off the dribble, and they found that in Brandon Ingram around Scotty Barnes.
3 years, $120 million. Now, Dave, fans were filing into the arena an hour and a half before tip-off to see the first ever time Luka Doncic was in this jersey. How was he received by fans?
It was a spectacle, Malika, and it wasn't just the Lakers placing 18,997 number 77 gold T-shirts on the seats. It was playing some Serbian music over the loudspeaker to make Luka feel right at home during pregame warm-ups. Every fan you saw in the building pulled out their cell phone and were seemingly recording his every movement. And he was putting on a show. Behind the back passes in the first quarter to Rui Hachimura, the lob to Jackson Hayes. His first time running out the tunnel for pregame warmups, he goes down the layup line, throws a trick shot off the shot clock that falls right into the basket. He recognized that this is a stage and he was ready to perform. For this fan base has been waiting almost a week and a half to finally see him in uniform since the trade happened.
Yeah, it was me. I was one of those fans because you can't help but be just a basketball fan when you're watching history like that. You want to record every single second. Before we let you go, Dave, LeBron, he did leave late in this game after taking a hit to the abdomen. He didn't return. JJ Redick said he was hopeful that LeBron and Luka Doncic would play in Utah this week. What more can you tell us about their availability?
Yeah, certainly. LeBron exited the game in the fourth quarter with about 11 minutes to go. The Lakers were blowing the Jazz out. He went to the back tunnel, appeared to be stretching out his lower abdomen. A source familiar with LeBron's injury status told me, quote, he's good. And when he was leaving the locker room last night, he didn't speak to the press, but had a brief conversation with a couple of us reporters and said, see you in Salt Lake City. That combined with JJ Redick's message makes me believe that we're going to see him on the court so the Lakers can try to finish off this momentum they've been building leading up to the All-Star break. They've won 12 out of 14. They can make it 13 out of 15. They're number 3 in the Western Conference standings. And based on what JJ said, I think we're going to see Luka Doncic out there again, only with still a minutes restriction. He played 24 minutes in his debut. I'm told that minute range will be anywhere in the 25 to 30 minute range.
Yeah, you have to imagine that part of the reason that he didn't reach that 30 minutes restriction was because it was a blowout game. We hope to see both of these stars on the floor in Utah. Dave, thank you so very much. We haven't seen Luka, we haven't seen the Lakers rather, play this consistently well since their 2020 championship. That was the last time the Lakers had multiple 6-game winning streaks in a season. That was that 2020 campaign that, Danny, you are very familiar with, my friend.
Part of.
Here was Luka when he was asked just how dangerous this team can be.
Very dangerous. I think the ball was moving very well on the offensive end. I think we can lock down a lot of players. So I was just happy to be on the court again.
Very dangerous. All right, those are Luka's adjectives. So, UD, what about you? Fill in the blank for me. This Lakers team, as currently constructed, could be
in the Western Conference Finals.
Oh.
I was very encouraged by seeing them play small ball last night. I was very encouraged by seeing Austin Reeves and the others continue to get going. And I'm also encouraged just focusing on what goes forward because nobody plays really big basketball anymore. Nobody's going into the bigs. Now, if they see Joker, they might have an issue, but leading up to that.
They know that, too. History tells them that.
I'm encouraged with that small lineup.
Yeah, based on matchups, they could get to the Western Conference Finals. I'm not too sold yet. It's the Utah Jazz. It's hard to grade that game. But offensively, they look very explosive. Love what they can do. AR, Gabe Vincent, the others, Rui, all these guys are, licking their chops, getting excited about, the opportunities they have to come. So offensively look great. Defensively is where it said there's some speculation, so we're trying to see what they can do and what they can guard on that end of the floor.
So I'm not sure what the blank was there, but I'm maybe unsure. This Lakers team is currently constructed as an unfinished. I'm going to work on your fill in the blank here, Danny. What about you, Brian? Your fill in the blank. The Lakers team is currently constructed can be.
I think they can be a first-round playoff winner. I think they're really playing well over the last month, especially defensively. I like that Austin Reeves is playing some of the best basketball we've ever seen, and it looked like the game plan last night was to keep him involved. I think, as UD said earlier, him getting over 20 points last night and keeping that streak going was important. It's just going to really come down to the matchups. I think there are teams in the West that the Lakers are going to be able to handle, but if a team has a lot of size and can punish them on the inside, especially in a 7-game series where you can really game plan, I think it's going to be hard. I'm giving the Lakers a pass on expectations for this season. I know that's not something that maybe people want to hear. Their roster is imbalanced. It's not totally their fault. The trade fell through. An imbalanced roster that's going to be sort of rushed together in the second half of the season doesn't typically lead to deep playoff runs, but I'm not taking anything off the table really either.
They're 2.5 out of second right now in the Western Conference.
It's tight.
So was that technically an answer by Wendy?
I'm still, UD, you get a gold star for the fill in the blank. I'm still trying to figure out what the blank was for both Brian and
They can win a playoff round. Why is that not an answer? That's specifically filled in the blank.
They can win a playoff round. Okay, they can win a playoff round. All right, before we go to break, Danny, UD, Brian, it was Luka's debut last night. Mm-hmm. I have a trivia question for you.
Uh-oh.
Ready for this? All right. In their 77-year history, thousands and thousands of players have debuted for the organization. Mm-hmm. Who is the player that had the most points in their Lakers debut?
Out of
every player.
There's your boy.
Oh.
Yeah.
I almost forgot that.
We got
no
answer
way.
to the test.
Danny Green.
What do you
Wendy,
mean no
believe
way,
it,
Wendy?
Wendy.
Yes,
Wendy.
way.
Wow.
No way.
Yes, way.
Against the Clippers in
Was
2019.
that a preseason game?
It was early. It was our first regular season game.
There you
a lot of threes,
go.
of course, not many twos, but.
See?
Yo, you